Final here presented by Orsilon Racing. Eduardo Barrichello was able to get the jump off the start in the pre-final and pull away, running consistent lap times quicker than anyone else on the racetrack. Tyler Gonzalez in the Speed Concepts Racing Tony Kart is going to line up alongside him on the front row here for the main event. Derek Carminate and the Brazilian Diego Ramos make up row number 2. Cody Crucker, Zachary Hollingshead, row number 3, Crucker with the Team Zanella group that just sponsored your Micro Rock division, and then Hollingshead with the Ocala Grand Prix team. Row 4 sees Team Montoya Barrel driver Sebastian Montoya alongside the Duke Spine number 299, Arias Duke Medjin. Row number 5 sees J3 Competitions, Nicholas D'Orlando, who's had an up-and-down weekend here thus far, but had a great climb through the field in the pre-final to start on the inside of row 5 in the main event. Kuna USA's Jeremy Fairbairn in the number 287 Tony Kart, having a decent weekend thus far, being sort of consistently in and out of the top 10. He'll look to climb a little bit higher up the steps in the order here in the final. 22 laps in total. That's your top 10. Beyond that, it's the PSL karting number 216, Ryan McDermott, who started dead last in every single heat race he competed in, worked his way forward, and now is almost inside the top 10 starting positions for the final. Anthony Famularo, Dylan Gennaro, 12th, 13th. Alessandro Famularo, 14th. Tyler Maxson, Alex Yankowski round out the top 16. Eduardo Barrichello, Tyler Gonzalez. The front row, we're going to bring them around here out of the final turn on the racetrack and look to go racing. And hands in the air, we're looking for the green. We've got it. A picture-perfect start for Rock Jr. to turn number 1. 3 and 4 wide. Everyone all over the place through turn 1. We're still clean. 2 drivers together there at the exit of turn number 2. Besides that, no big issues. Everyone makes it through. A couple more get woed up in 3. Your leaders, Eduardo Barrichello, through into 2nd. Derek Carminate and Tyler Gonzalez falling down to the 3rd spot. Cody Crucker runs in 4th. Nick D'Orlando into 5th. 6th is Sebastian Montoya. 7th, Ryan McDermott. 8th is Diego Ramos. He's going to try the inside on McDermott. Can't do it. Behind Diego Ramos, Arias Duke Medjin, Zachary Hollingshead as well. And then it looks to be Jeremy Fairbairn, Anthony Famularo. A huge cluster there behind Sebastian Montoya as we look at this awesome ground shot out of the final turn on the racetrack. Eduardo Barrichello, your race leader here over Derek Carminate. Tyler Gonzalez trails that group as well. 3 karts out in front, mainly the 2 of Barrichello and Carminate. A 3-kart train behind them with Gonzalez leading Cody Crucker and Nicholas D'Orlando. Behind D'Orlando with Sebastian Montoya, then Diego Ramos, Ryan McDermott, and then the Kuna USA driver Jeremy Fairbairn, followed by Zachary Hollingshead, Ocala Grand Prix Tony Kart. The top 5 all pulling away from Sebastian Montoya's group. Diego Ramos had to look down the inside, and already he is down about 3 seconds from the race leader. Here's Eduardo Barrichello. Last time by, the driver who was quickest on the racetrack, Nicholas D'Orlando, 2/10 better than Barrichello's time. D'Orlando in the comp car trails Cody Crucker, who is now onto the bumper of Tyler Gonzalez. All 3 drivers reeling in Derek Carminate, who runs in the 2nd spot. So Carminate not getting the initial start he would have liked. Cody Crucker right now still having a solid run under the Team Zanella tent in 4th. Down the backstretch, Eduardo Barrichello, Derek Carminate, Tyler Gonzalez, Cody Crucker, Nick D'Orlando, your top 5. A big gap back to now Diego Ramos, who has gone by Sebastian Montoya. Montoya's been shoved all the way down the order to 11th this lap. He's still under more pressure here from Jeremy Fairbairn and Nicholas Fabris. The top 5 once again find that Nick D'Orlando sets the quickest time, 48.464, 2/10 quicker than Eduardo Barrichello, who shows the way behind Barrichello. Derek Carminati matched him. Tyler Gonzalez lost a little bit. Cody Crocker matched as well. So evenly balanced here as Nick D'Orlando continues to show the way. More drivers beating and banging farther back in the field. Derek Carminati losing ground to your race leader, Eduardo Barrichello. Here comes Tyler Gonzalez to his rear bumper as Nick D'Orlando's gotten by Cody Crocker. D'Orlando up to P4 here in the comp cart. On your screen, this is the battle and pack of second-place drivers as out in front, Eduardo Barrichello now extends the gap to 0.7 of a second. Gonzalez was quicker last time by than Barrichello, but that was partially because he had the draft of Derek Carminati. Out of the final turn on the racetrack, Eduardo Barrichello still showing the way here at Homestead Karting. Eduardo Barrichello is the real deal. 48.298. The lap time last time by over Derek Carminati's 48.501. Gonzalez was not much quicker. Barrichello setting the fastest time of the race by 2/10 last time and pulling away those 2/10 from that pack of 4. So behind your top 5, we find Diego Ramos running 6th. Zachary Hollingshead, a solid weekend, running in 7th. Ryan McDermott running in the 8th spot right now, the Canadian Burrell Art driver. Then in 9th, it's Pedro Lopes. 10th, Alessandro Famularo. Sebastian Montoya still sits in 11th. Nick Fabris runs in 12th. Victor Schoma now actually by Fabris. He'll bring Anthony Famularo with him. And so Fabris down to 14th. Mateus Morgatto, who was up front in some of the heat races after having some issues in the pre-final, runs in the 15th spot. Barrichello, once again, your quickest driver, 48.139, pulling another 1/10 of a second away from Carminati, Gonzalez, and D'Orlando. Nick D'Orlando, the closest driver to Barrichello's pace at the moment, but even he lost about a 0.5 last time. Here comes Tyler Gonzalez up to the bumper of Derek Carminati, looking for second. He will not make it over in turn number 1. Battling over to turn 4 for the race lead, or for the lead of that second group, as Gonzalez is still on the bumper of Carminati, who is beginning to defend here to turn number 5. Gonzalez down the inside. Tyler Gonzalez up to second. Nick D'Orlando trying to find a way by to get third as well, as Cody Crocker has fallen off the main group there. Here comes D'Orlando, a great dive down the inside. They make contact. Carminati falls back. Now he'll hit D'Orlando, and as they exit turn number 11, Nick D'Orlando loses a bit of time to Tyler Gonzalez. Derek Carminati seemed a little bit frustrated by that maneuver by Nicholas D'Orlando. He's going to try and really close the gap back to the comp car driver. Nick D'Orlando still trailing Tyler Gonzalez by that marginal gap that was made with the contact as Carminati rejoined the racing surface. Both drivers, 3rd and 4th, have gapped away from Cody Crocker's Zanella OTK machine. Diego Ramos setting his best time of the race, 1/10 slower than Eduardo Barrichello. Barrichello last time by 2/10 quicker than Tyler Gonzalez. Nobody as quick as Eduardo Barrichello is right now on the racetrack. Zachary Hollingshead was close, only a 0.5 back there in the Ocala Grand Prix number 256 Tony Kart entry. He leads a train with Ryan McDermott and Pedro Lopes in tow. Alessandro Famularo still rounds out the current top 10. We keep our eyes here on Nicholas D'Orlando. Last time by, he just went a 1/10 quicker than Eduardo Barrichello. I don't know if that'll be enough to run down the Tony Kart driver. He still has 12 laps to do it if he can continue to gain a couple of 10ths per lap. But he's now got to deal with Driver of the Year for Max Speed Entertainment in 2016, Tyler Gonzalez. So Nick D'Orlando, we'll see what the gap looks like this time by. The final race of the weekend, the Orsilon Racing Junior Rock class. Eduardo Barrichello leading by 1.8 seconds, another 10th quicker than Gonzalez that time. He was even with Nick D'Orlando. Although Mateus Morgatto in the AM Racing Engines entry, he goes purple, 48.014, 2 tenths quicker than Barrichello. Fastest driver on the racetrack is the 262 Orange and Black Machine as he runs up to Sebastian Montoya. Down the backstretch, Derek Carminate is pulled back to the bumper of Nick D'Orlando. D'Orlando signals to work together. Carminate not going to play by that plan. He'll look to the inside in turn 1, although he'll think better of it before that move is made. 48.142 for Barrichello, 137 for Gonzalez, 249 for D'Orlando. Again, one of the hardest tracks to be consistent at because you are clipping quite a few curbs here at Homestead Karting. And as we make our way out of turn number 8, you see D'Orlando now back up to a 2-kart length advantage over Derek Carminate. Into turn 1, Ryan McDermott there in that pack. Just try to move down the inside of Diego Ramos. A late dive, was unable to get it done. Here comes Jeremy Fairbairn to the rear bumper in turn Zachary Hollingshead, sorry. Fairbairn a little farther back. Hollingshead unable to get it done in turn 4. McDermott gonna defend now into turn 5. He'll get a little bump there from Hollingshead. It sends him way wide. Zachary Hollingshead a bump and run to Ryan McDermott. Here comes Pedro Lopes. Lopes gonna take advantage of both of these drivers and get by Hollingshead to take over 2 spots. So Ryan McDermott now going to be charging back up to Zachary Hollingshead, who gave him a little bit of a nerf there into turn 5, sent him wide as we see Lopes still leading Hollingshead by a half-kart length down the front stretch. Here comes Hollingshead back down the inside in turn number 1. Into turn 4, no move back from Pedro Lopes as McDermott closes back up. This battle, the closest one you've got on the racetrack, as everyone is spaced out for the lead. Nick D'Orlando, though, has closed the gap to Tyler Gonzalez. In fact, he's on the bumper battling for the 2nd spot here in the Orsilon Racing Junior Rock class. It is Gonzalez, D'Orlando, and Carminate, all nose to tail, 2 seconds back from the race leader, Eduardo Barrichello. Into turn number 1, here we go, change for 2nd. Nick D'Orlando goes through. Gonzalez tries to cross him over to turn 2. Gonzalez gets him right back. Tyler Gonzalez back up into 2nd. Nick D'Orlando now going to lose 3rd. Here comes Derek Carminate in turn 4. So Carminate now going to go back to the 3rd spot. D'Orlando goes from 2nd to 3rd to 4th in just a couple of corners. And just like that, Nick D'Orlando has to start from square one once again here in the 2017 VCI powered by AM Engines Florida Winter Tour presented by Fixie Wheels. The Orsilon Racing Junior Rock Division on the racetrack and past the halfway point, which is exactly where Eduardo Barrichello would love it to be. 6.5 laps remain for Barrichello away from his first career Florida Winter Tour victory. So it's still that 3-car train for second, the closest battle you've got, at least when you look towards the front of your field. Farther back, though, Ryan McDermott, Zachary Hollingshead still going at it through turns 7 and 8, and they're in a big train now with Sebastian Montoya involved. Mateus Morgatto has run them down, as well as Alessandro Famolaro, and in front of them, Pedro Lopes and Cody Crucker have sort of come together. Crucker falling back severely right now. He was a 49.36 last time by. He'll close it back to 48.45. But as Derek Carminate gets a second wind here in the Junior Rock Final, he has closed the gap back to Tyler Gonzalez. The Benek chassis coming, or the Benek OTK chassis coming in just a little bit late here out of turn number 8, but he's closed it, and that's what matters. He'll be looking for the second place spot. In fact, last time by Carminate, 1/10 quicker than Eduardo Barrichello. Into turn number 1, Carminate tried the inside there on Tyler Gonzalez. No change there. Tyler Gonzalez still holds the second spot, fighting hard to keep himself there as Carminate goes 2/10 quicker than Barrichello, the only driver in the 47-second bracket besides Francisco Porto in terms of fast laps, and Mateus Morgatto. New fast time of the race goes to Derek Carminate. Down the backstretch, 1 kart length separating Tyler Gonzalez from Derek Carminate here onto the front straightaway with 4 laps remaining in the Orsilon Racing Junior Rock Division. Carminate gave a little love tap that time to Tyler Gonzalez entering turn 2. Now he'll go down the inside in turn 4, and he's through to second. Derek Carminate to P2, and Tyler Gonzalez just going to follow right through into position number 3. No counter move there from Gonzalez, even though Carminate did not even have to really block, and Gonzalez stays behind him. Nick D'Orlando now closes up due to the pass. He'll try and latch back onto Tyler Gonzalez as Gonzalez has begun to fade just a little bit here in the final. He hit his best lap of the race last time with a little help from Carminate, but now Carminate starting to pull away here from the Speed Concepts Racing Tony Kart. By over 2.5 seconds, though, with 2.5 laps to go, the Ocala Grand Prix Tony Kart of Eduardo Barrichello is showing the way here around Homestead Karting. Out of turn number 5 for Eduardo Barrichello, and the gap just lengthening every single lap. Back to Derek Carminate, Tyler Gonzalez, and Nick D'Orlando. You just saw D'Orlando trying to make a move to the inside in turn 7. He could not get it done there on Gonzalez, and Carminate's gap doubles. This time by, the double sticks will go in the air. Eduardo Barrichello is 2 laps away from victory as Derek Carminate still runs second. Third is Tyler Gonzalez. Fourth, Nicholas D'Orlando. Fifth, Diego Ramos. Sixth, Pedro Lopes. Seventh, Ryan McDermott. Eighth, Mateus Morgatto. Ninth looks to be Sebastian Montoya. And 10th, Alessandro Famolaro. So they've now spaced out here that pack of 3 from second to third to fourth. Gonzalez trying to close back up to Derek Carminate for one more chance to get that second place spot. Nick D'Orlando has fought hard this weekend to overcome 2 DNFs or bad finishes in the heat races, and now finds himself seeing a podium hope slip away as Gonzalez and Carminate pull a bigger gap. White flag in the air here, 1 lap to go. Eduardo Barrichello has not slowed down. Every single lap has been within just a couple of tenths of his best, and even now his best lap time coming back on lap 12. Here on lap 21, he was within 200ths of it. No big deal here for Eduardo Barrichello. It's simply throwing it on cruise control out of turn number 5. Eduardo Barrichello heads into the back sector for the final time today, winning the pre-final, having a second place, first place, and first place result in the heat races. He has had the best weekend possible, making the most out of his circumstances down the backstretch for the final time. Eduardo Barrichello puts his name on the national scene. He wins Junior Rock. Derek Carminate finishes second. Tyler Gonzalez finishes third. Nicholas D'Orlando finishes in fourth. Diego Ramos fifth. Pedro Lopes sixth. Ryan McDermott seventh. Mateus Morgatto in eighth. Sebastian Montoya ninth. Arias Duke-Medjin takes the Duke Spine 299 back into the top 10, getting by Alessandro Familaro in the closing laps. Cody Crucker slides down the order to 12th, just behind Familaro. Jeremy Fairbairn finishes 13th. Victor Schoma 14th. And Anthony Familaro gets by Zachary Hollingshead in the final two laps as well to round out the top 15. Then it's Hollingshead, Yankowski, Fabris, Vinicius Diaz, and Jade Hubert. That's your top 20. The on-track action complete. We'll get one more interview here with Eduardo Barrichello, a first-time winner in the VCI powered by AM Engines Florida Winter Tour, presented by Fixie Wheels in the Orsilon Racing Rock Junior category, as he takes a slow cool-down lap, and a well-deserved one at that. He has put in the work here today and this weekend. Eduardo Barrichello, your winner in Orsilon Racing Rock Junior. A great sight here in the scale line with a lot of drivers shaking hands, especially in the front group. Derek Carminate, Tyler Gonzalez, Nick D'Orlando. It got a little bit physical earlier on, but still being able to be sportsmanlike is great to see out of our junior rockers. Heading into the scales, though, near the back of it will be Eduardo Barrichello. And what a drive it has been today for the young junior rock driver, proving that it is not just a name, that is pure talent out of Eduardo Barrichello. The Tony Cardo Cala Grand Prix entry. We'll see if we can catch up with him one more time here this afternoon. All right, so we've gone ahead and caught up Orsolone Racing Junior Rock winner here this weekend, Eduardo Barrichello. Eduardo, you've had quite the weekend thus far. You've been very consistent. We interviewed you after your win in the pre-final, a dominating run there, and then, of course, you go even better here in the final. So as we've got our cameras rolling live on MaxSpeedEntertainment.com with the live broadcast this weekend, a great drive, and just speak to us here how this week's gone for you, how it feels, of course, now to get your first big win, and especially here in the Florida Winter Tour.
It was very good to me. We were fast since the practice, and I'm very happy. I just need to thank my team, OGP, thank Austin, perfect cut, and that's it.
Yeah, I can imagine the raw emotion as you came across the line there. Your first big victory, your first Florida Winter Tour national victory here in Rock Junior, and your first full season in Junior, is that correct? Yeah, so an awesome debut here in 2017. I'm sure you've been putting in a lot of work at the track to get that kind of speed.
Yeah, it was. I'm really happy, and hope to be back in.
All right, well, an awesome drive here for Eduardo Barrichello. With that, you've already thanked more people. Is there anyone else to thank for making you as fast as you were and helping out put together such an awesome drive here this weekend?
Yeah, I just need to thank my family, my team, especially my...
All right, well, with that, we'd like to give you our congratulations from everyone in the Max Speed Entertainment live crew and all the Max Speed Entertainment officials. It was fun to watch how great you were driving out there, Eduardo Barrichello, and I'm sure that name is still going to stick with you. It might get you a few more things in life, but you've got quite the talent to be able to back it up.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap up our Max Speed Entertainment live broadcast here. A great shot of Rubens Barrichello and everyone in the Rock Junior field as Eduardo's got to go still push his cart through the scale line to make it official, but we'll go ahead and pan over to the scale of the drivers. The raw motion after finishing a Florida Winter Tour main event here in the Orsolone Racing Rock Junior class. With that, we will pan out and wrap up our 2017 round 1 coverage. VCI powered by AM Racing Engines Florida Winter Tour. We'll give you a few more close-ups of the rest of the field. Wrap up in just a moment. And thank you for tuning in.